protected. So that you're protected by the settlement as well as a brokerage that participates in RAIN. So, yeah, mainly I think you'll be taking out the set 3%, putting a blank there. And then another change is if you were to be offered a selling agent bonus, and I don't know, does anybody do that anymore, offer selling agent bonuses? That's got to be disclosed in writing to the buyer as well, so that they know all compensation that you're getting. Yeah, it says broker members and their licensees must conspicuously disclose in writing to sellers and to buyers any payments or offers of payments, either that you're getting as a buyer's agent or that you're giving as a listing agent. So everything has to be fully disclosed. It can't be that they see it on the settlement statement for the first time. So yeah, I mean, I don't think we're finding in practicality much change in the amount of commissions, but it just has to be approached as if it were it has to be approached differently, where the consumer has some say in it and is fully informed of everything that's being offered and given. So in your buyer broker agreement, it'll have a blank, but it doesn't mean that you can't say whatever the company policy is about what commission you typically require. So that's about all that I had to say about those changes. Thomasina, Lucy, anything else that you wanted me to highlight about that?
We are going to change. She's going to add a line into the buyer broker that talks about it being negotiable, because it has to be in there. So you'll see that change here pretty soon. Was that the only line you were adding, Susan?
I really think so. Other than, I mean, I'd asked
we
you.
were pretty good. Like we
Yeah.
did, like, but she also reviewed it previously when we had it. So
Yeah, and I noticed on the RAIN standard one that they seem to put the whole, standard. They went into complete detail quoting the code on what the duties of the standard agent are, rather than summarizing like you all had done. And I don't know if didn't see a reason arising out of the settlement that they had done that. So maybe that was language that was just already in there. And it wasn't, I don't think it was a result of this change. So
yeah, I don't think so either.
Yeah, the only thing resulting from the NAR settlement that changes is the issue of the amount of commission being negotiable, and the fact of disclosure of any sources of compensation that you as a buyer or seller's agent might be getting. And then how, if you're saying to your buyer, I've got to get 3%, and you only get 2% from the seller, of course, you are entitled to ask that buyer to continue to pay the additional amount. I mean, whether you choose to do that or not may be a different thing. But none of that has changed. So I think that's about all. I mean, the other things were pretty much clarifications of stuff that was already in the buyer brokerage agreement. And it shows that the RAIN members are following suit with NAR to try to protect themselves from getting sued by consumers who think that basically the commission structure has been jammed down their throat. So, yeah.
Yep.
It gets back to the lawyers being the bad guys who brought these suits. So what can we say? Anyway, yeah.
Dang lawyers.
That's right.
We have advised everybody that you should be calling before you go out to see if there is commission, because that's not something that you are going to find out afterwards, because after you show the home and there's no commission, there's no negotiation. That still stands. That hasn't changed. So make sure you call beforehand. We did have an issue where someone had called. It wasn't our firm, but somebody had called an agent and asked if the commission was negotiable or not. And the reason I'm telling you this is because you need to be aware that there's still some agents out there who are not nice. I mean, they're just, they're rude, and this has given them another reason to continue on with that. And as we pray for them to be nice and maybe possibly go out of the business, we we have to put up with that, sadly. And so this was what one person had received. Get used to the zero commission as a buyer's agent. That's the way it is. I go on 810 listing appointments a month, and the last 6 that signed said that they don't want to pay a buyer's commission. So you might as well get used to it. Don't ask me again. So,
wow.
Right. That's not true. So actually surveys have went out. 75% of sellers do actually want, it's actually a little bit higher than that, but I rather round down than up. 75% of sellers actually do want to pay a buyer's agent. So don't get discouraged whenever you do see ones like that and you come across them and they're rude, and just say thank you and go about your day. But you are going to encounter those. So if we've already encountered one, we know there's at least 10% out there, right? Yeah.
So if you see this person's listing again, he said, don't ask again. So do you still ask or not?
Absolutely.
I think that
That's
we
up to
ask
you.
because absolutely every single deal is.
I
negotiable.
tell you to ask on every single one, because you would, I mean, what if you made that's a disservice to your client? What if you had your client pay the fee when there truly was one, right? So you have to do what's best interest of your client, and the best interest of your client is that they could have that negotiated in, right? And so you do actually, by contract, need to ask on every single one, because it is in the best interest of your client. And so make sure you do that before you go, though. That's the biggest thing. Just make sure you do it before you go. Mhm.
So 1-800-SHOWING, we all love that, don't we?
Showing time?
So,
Yeah.
yes, so you call there, but you try to call the listing agent first and find out what the commission is. And of course, they never answer the phone. You can call 1-800-SHOWING.
They're not gonna be able to tell you usually, so they're not licensed.
So you can't get a hold of
Yeah.
the listing agent.
Yeah.
because they
So
don't
you
answer.
call and text and you do the best you can. And then it's up to you what you want to do at that. If you can't reach them, you need to have the conversation again with your client, because now remember, we're not showing any property without a buyer broker at all, period. That cannot happen. So that was always our rule anyway, but now it's a government rule, not just a state rule, and not just a Thomasina rule or a coastal town rule. It's government rule. So it is something that has to be enforced. And so you've already had them sign that anyway. You're just trying to do the best you can and do that. It doesn't mean, even whenever they say no, that you can't write it in the contract too for a negotiation. Negotiation is negotiation. Even if they say no, you can still write it in there. If you feel like that's something that you and your client is the best for them to do, you can still write that in there, because they're saying no, but in their head, they're saying no with a full price offer or with this or with that, right? Everything's negotiable. They also are saying no, if you take it for face value, to the price being lower, right? But we all know that that's changed before a negotiation, right? Everything is negotiable. They can't take away the ability to negotiate right now. So you can definitely still write that in. So don't be discouraged by it. It's time to have our big britches on for sure. So we are ones that are very tough, but we're tough in the sense that it's tough love, not tough like we're jerks. And we are one of the best negotiators out there. That is the one thing that everybody prides us on, and being knowledgeable. So negotiation and being knowledgeable. So it's our education and our ability to help our clients that has our name on the streets. So we don't need to be losing that, right? Just because rules have changed, we are still smart enough to go by the rules, and we have the ethics to do it correctly, and to also get our clients the best that we can possibly get them. So make sure that, just make sure you're not intimidated by it, is really the bottom line on that.
Yeah, I agree with you, Thomasina. I mean, if you can't get hold of an agent and you need to, or if you need to make an offer ASAP, just write in whatever your negotiated, whatever commission you put in your buyer broker agreement, put it in the contract and make it part of your offer, unless you're really afraid that you're not going to get your offer accepted for some reason. But yeah, I mean, all they can say is no, and or we're only going to pay whatever. So
Mhm.
totally
And I
agree.
will tell you this, I know that we have an 85% of you all use Jones Walker and Lake. The other 15, it's not like you're going to another attorney or anything. It's usually a closing company. But in this stage of the game, you need an attorney behind you guys. So I think everybody here uses it. So I'll be saying it to people that maybe are online or something. I don't know. Most people online actually use it because we have such a high rate. But tell all of your friends, tell everybody that you need an attorney. In fact, Sand and Sea has started using Tomahawk Title because they need an attorney behind. Yes, make sure we get credit for that. Is recorded, and I'll send it to you later. I know Austin already did that, but and so more people are moving to that because they have to have an attorney there that needs to advise them and move through. Because as this goes on, you're just going to see these tiny little pop-ups, and as this develops, there's going to be even more things that come out. I wouldn't be surprised if some agents are going to end up trying to go back against all of this and more lawsuits and things come up. And there's no way for us to navigate that without them. I mean, it's just the bottom line. There's just no way for us to do that without a knowledgeable attorney. So we have to have them. And there's been plenty of times. In fact, Nikki and Munesh, they used to use a closing attorney because a lot of their clients just wanted to go the cheapest route, right? And the minute they used Jones Walker and like, they were like, they even went down to the penny there. I think you guys figured it out. It was like $30 or something.
It's, you know what, it's almost the same thing.
Yeah.
They
It's
just have
just,
different values and different charges.
Yeah.
To make it look attractive, you know, one person's closing fees $550, one's is $495, but they bill that $55 somewhere else.
it's somewhere else. So it's almost like, so they even went through dollar for dollar, and they're like, why would we not have an attorney? And then anybody who is out of state that needs a traveling sign or anything for Tomahawk, we pay for that. So that's on like that's a perk of using Tomahawk with Jones Walker and Lake. So that comes out of our side, which is great. So there's definitely perks, but the biggest perk is the fact that they got our back 24/7, you know? I mean, they've always come through for us. If Sam was here, I think she might be online. She was telling me yesterday that
I'm here.
even for her, go ahead. Are you there?
Yeah.
Oh, hi. I was talking about Sam. Hey, Sam, are you on there?
Yeah, I'm here.
So Sam was telling me yesterday how she had a personal deal that she sold the coffee shop and the lease and everything. She was trying to, figure out what to do with that. And Austin came through and wrote it up and made sure it was all okay. And the guy who owns the building she's in is an attorney or was an attorney. So he's retired. He was an attorney. And Austin was able to guide her through better than what that guy was even able to write. So I mean, it's definitely worth it. So, well, thank you so much, Susan.
Thank
And
you.
Austin, of course.
Call us if you need anything.
Yeah,
Question.
Right.
go ahead.
I would love to get Susan or Austin's input on.
Or
so-
both.
Or both. We got something yesterday that says, the class notice is a court-approved process through which members of the settlement class, home sellers who sold a home during the eligible date ranges, the home was sold on an MLS anywhere in the US and paid a commission to a real estate brokerage and connected with the sale of the home, will be informed of NAR's proposed settlement. So with that, I'm anticipating previous sellers
Yes.
contacting. What is a proposed response that you guys would advise us to have prepared for those sellers who contact us in a couple days when they all get that notice?
So basically NAR, with the NAR settlement, they're going to be sending letters out to all these people, letting them know what has happened. Because not everybody is aware of it, right? And so as most class action suits go, right? Like how they send the letter, they're going to do that to all these people is what they're asking. So if our past clients some of these people had clients that weren't even with our firm, right? What is a good response to that if they call back? I mean, obviously saying it's settled, but what would be an appropriate one? Do you feel?
I mean, I think I would say that you all are covered by the settlement that NAR has entered into. I mean, are these people you're thinking are going to come back to you wanting their commission back or something like that? Is that kind of, and this is probably a lawyer trying to jump on the boat? I don't know if that's an official notice from.
Wondering what's going on or.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I mean, I think you could, and I could write up a little something or send you a summary or something like that you could forward to them. There's some good bullet points that are put out by, is it VAR or NAR? I was looking at it earlier, but that's something you could forward on. But your brokerage is part of RAIN MLS, falls under the settlement, and you're complying with all of the components of the settlement, i.e. don't come asking us for any money back. So, we don't
Yeah,
say
would love
that,
it.
but
If you wanted to
Yeah.
write that up, I would definitely send that out to all the agents
Okay.
if you don't.
right, and we can have a link to some of the bullet points and the FAQs and things like that. But yes, you all are, I mean, I think if it's a really huge firm with over, I can't remember the dollar figure, then you have to enter into your own settlement. But most members are within the scope of falling under,
Yes.
as long as you have a realtor owner or broker,
Yep.
you're in good shape. You're protected by the settlement. So.
Well, it seemed a lot of these issues too were you guys are very communicative with your clients. It's, hey, okay, if you wanna work with us, here's the agreement. You know, this is what we charge, this is what, I mean, so.
Yes.
You know, you guys always have that up front. You just goes and they're free to make that decision at the get, okay, well, do I wanna work with you guys and pay this? Or do I wanna try to go at it alone or throw it up on Zillow, you know, try to figure
Yeah.
out what I can get. So I think you'll be able to stand back. Hey, we've provided you all, you know, this was communicated with you every step of the way. You knew what you were getting into and you agreed to this price and we got you a good result too, so.
Yeah. Yeah, we were really open, and most of the people that were with other firms were with me previously, so we have always been very, very, very open about it and made sure that we explain it tenfold, so absolutely. All right, yeah, go ahead.
Just real quick.
Yeah.
Just because it's staring me in the face. I just got an alter from a closing. When we put this offer in, I have the buyers and the buyer's agent called me as we were doing it, and he was very open. He's like, I made a mistake. In the MLS, it said 3%, but we're actually just doing 2.5 on each side. I was like, I'm gonna be a nice person, and that's fine.
Mhm.
On the Alta, he got a lot more than me.
Wow.
I'm
So it was more than
so I'm-
2.5 and 2.5?
Yeah, and his whole thing with me was like, you know, there was like a referral on this. And I was kind of fumbling over that, and at the time I was like, I really want my clients to get this house.
Sure. Nothing we can do
So
now
there's-
because you signed through it,
I
but.
did, but
yeah.
I'm trying to think, like, so now that we don't have the selling brokerage fee
Mhm.
and these things hadn't come into play, but even if they had,
Mhm.
there is no, I'm not talking about repercussions, but
Mhm.
like, what could I have seen to see?
No,
so
he's
now
flat out
we-
lied to you, so there's
so
not
we
really
can't
anything
even
you could
see
have.
anymore what the seller's agent is getting.
What's soon to be, yeah,
until
soon to
the
be,
Alta.
soon to be, soon to be, soon to be. So, yes.
One question, so now if the seller is willing to pay a 2% commission to the buyer's
Mhm.
agent, does it get written in the SAER that 2% will go to buyers, but we cannot advertise it on Rain? Or we write negotiable in the buyer's?
We've been
in the
saying to write
SAER?
negotiable, but you can do either one, it's up to you.
Okay.
But that's gonna change too, so. It's gonna end up changing it. I mean, they're not gonna be able to have that in
So
there
we're
too,
saying
for the
that
other
we
side.
can write the 2% in there, so he's signing off,
Mhm.
seller signing off.
Mhm.
agreeing
If
to
there's a
give
blank
2%.
for it, you can write it in until there's no longer a blank. But we've been putting negotiable just in case to, because what's going to happen is after September, whatever it is, then you're gonna have to backtrack and put in new paperwork if you have that in there. Cause they're not going to say, okay, just because you did it before this date, they're not doing that this time. They're gonna make you change it.
But do we get any, see, if we leave it negotiable, and today I wanna sell the house, I say I'll give 2%. And after 1 week, if it's still not selling, I said, okay, instead of price reduction, I'll only give 1%. I haven't signed off, all I've signed off is on negotiable.
Mhm.
What happens then? He called me 2 weeks ago,
Mhm.
and I've told him 2%.
It's
She calls
negotiable.
me now, it's 1%.
It's negotiable.
But then if he brings me a buyer now that I told him 2% 2 weeks ago.
Yes, you gotta stand by your word.
Then it's
So
still
just
gotta
say
be 2%.
negotiable, never
Mhm.
commit to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's
Absolutely.
negotiable. You're not saying yes, 2%, you're saying it's negotiable. It's not signed until it's signed. That's when it's ratified.
So 2% negotiable.
Mhm.
You're not held.
I would just put negotiable. Yes. Yes.
So if I call somebody, they said 2%, but do I need it in text or in writing? Because now they said 2%, I send them the offer with 2% there,
Mhm.
and they scratch out and say 1%.
You can do it, but it's still negotiable. They haven't seen the offer.
Okay, so it's all just verbal
Negotiable.
till, okay.
Yep, all negotiable, because they haven't seen the offer. So even if they said 2% and they see the offer, they say, well, the offer says this, so now it's negotiable.
Okay, actually, that's better.
Yeah. Anyone else have a question on this portion? Anyone else have a question for Susan or Austin on anything else? Online, you guys good? Okay, I think they're good. Thank you, Susan.
All right, all the
Austin,
best.
did you have anything else?
That's all I got.
Thank you, Austin. Thank you so much, as always. All
just-
right,
don't be
Craig.
Don't be
Go ahead.
intimidated by this. It'll still, I mean, I think you still continue to ask for what you used to get,
Yes.
and hopefully you'll get it most of the time.
Yeah.
This is gonna be a rough patch probably for about the next 6 months, because no one is clear on how it's all gonna play out. So, but keep it up. So,
Yeah, I agree. Don't be intimidated. Just continue on with what you're doing. with the negotiations and keep going. The only thing you have to worry about is just making sure you have the right paperwork and that you're putting it in correctly, which is what our Lucy is for, right? But if you have any questions, let us know before you do it. Lucy's ready to answer all of that. That's why she took a really long vacation so that she could be.
She can be fresh for us.
Yeah. All right. Cragen is actually online. Cragen, are you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Can you hear me good or bad? Do I need to get close
we
to
can
the
hear
mic?
you good and we can see you.
All right, cool. All right, cool. So, how's everybody doing today?
Good.
Good. All right, great. So I'm on our way to Philadelphia with my son. He's driving. He's in the driver's seat. Anyway, so yeah, sorry I couldn't be there today. That being said, we had an inflation report come out today. And if you had to guess, what do you think? Good or bad? Anybody?
They're saying good.
Bad.
They're saying
One
good.
person said
So it came out a little bit good. So, obviously, as you all know, the whole world knows, it seems like, and the mortgage rates went down about 2 weeks ago. We had a nice little 0.5% pay or rate cut. And then last week they kind of upticked a little bit, but then pretty much stayed pretty baseline. They didn't really move much towards the end of the week. But then today they have the inflation report. It came out and, we may have got another 1/8 of a point out of them. So, best thing I can say is that rates fluctuate. I tell my clients that all the time. If I quote you now and you don't get under contract for 3 weeks, rates go up and down. So I only ask that you do the same thing, mimic what I say or mimic that. If we're working together to say, hey, rates fluctuate. It is literally with the market. That being said, I always try, as you already know, I try to push affordability and monthly payment as opposed to rates. People are so hung up on a rate, where in the grand scheme, 1/8 of a point is not some hundreds of dollars, or a quarter point is not hundreds of dollars on your monthly payment. It is real money for sure, not to downplay that, but keep in mind that I try to speak affordability. Can you afford the payment that we're putting out there? And then hopefully at some point we can refinance you and get you when rates go down. The other big thing too, I want to kind of been pushing these for years now, but the non-QM stuff we've seen a little bit of an uptick on that, with the bank statement loans for self-employed people, the DSCR loans with self-employed people and people that are wanting to get more into investing. They see the opportunity there. The DSCR rates are great. Are not great, but they're good. The program itself is great for the people that may not show that they make a lot of money on paper, or they're at their max capacity on debt to income to even go conventional, even with us, being able to offset that mortgage with the 1007, which is a rent schedule appraisal. Next up, the big one is P&L loans. So we've had clients that could not qualify for a bank statement loan, but they were able to qualify on their just using their P&L, and they get a CPA, to do a P&L, and they kind of just put the business is healthy and do the P&L as opposed to doing a bank statement loan. As you can understand, it is a higher risk loan. So obviously the rate's going to be significantly higher on that. I-10 loans have been big too. There's a lot of people that, are buying under these I-10 loans that, may not qualify for a normal loan utilizing a social security number. Next up, networking stuff we have coming up. We had to postpone our networking pool party. We had it at the beginning of the month. And as you know, the weather wasn't great. We're hoping to maybe get it on next week. We got to check with the pool to try and get the availability and all the things. We put it out there to them. We just got to wait, Other than that, I have a social media /AI training. We did one about 6 months ago. It was really good. I had two realtors after the training. They loved it so much they afforded myself and Gerard from Gerard Marketing to hop on camera and shot a testimonial. Anytime you ever host something like that or host a training and you even just have one person in the training, it's like, sure, I'll shoot a 20 or 30 second promo for you because I enjoyed it and got so much value from it. Right. anybody can say they just went to a training, but if you didn't really get any value, then what are you even really going for? You're just going to make yourself feel better, right? So I always tell people, try and get 3 things from every training you go to. If you get 3 things, even if it's the same things you've already heard 2 or 3 times, still just try and get some type of value in all the training that you do. Last thing, I'm doing a decent amount of masterminds with real estate agents, 1-on-1, 2-on-1, 3-on-1, mini teams. And it's been very beneficial for us all. As you all know, I do a lot of social media. Part of that has been part of the big talks is trying to help them ramp up their social media game, because social media, my social media, I don't know about you all, and I know Thomasina's it is our CRM. It is literally how we get business. It is literally how people know who we are, is through social media and social media platforms. So I encourage you, even if you don't want to do talking head videos like this, and you just want to put some content out there, I can't do it right now, but I'm literally looking at a farm right now. Like, do a pan of a farm, or a pan of going over to Lesnar Bridge when you're in the passenger seat, and of 10 seconds, and use that as a story, or use that as a reel. Thought about buying home? Rates are great, or whatever, however you want to, disclaim that, but, or put your content out there. But there's other ways than doing talking heads to get yourself out there on your social media. But yeah, that's all I got. Any questions?
No, I think we're good. Thank you and have a safe trip.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, bye. All right, Tina or Maddie, are either one of you guys on? No. Okay. All right, that's okay. Carolee, are you on? No, Carolee's not on either. Okay. The Family Fun Day was great. Thank you all for coming. We had a really good time. The weather held off, which was wonderful. We had 51 people that came, which was great. Our next big event is going to be in October, so you won't see that up on the screen until next month, but your collaborators will be reaching out to you guys to see if you're going to come, and it's going to be here. We are thinking about having it the same as we did last year with everything that we have, but also to set up, I have a big blow up projector to set up for TV. For a movie out in the field for the kiddos too. So we are collaborating and coming together with that. Lucy comes back, I think at the end of this week.
I can stay gone if you want me to.
Oh, Lucy!
The 13th.
Hi, Lucy!
No, you can't stay gone.
I am so mean to them. They're ready for you to come back. For
Yeah,
sure.
I'm back. I'm back as of today, but you got to give
Okay.
me a little grace. Give me the rest of the week to even get kind of caught up. But
Yeah.
I'm available for your questions and stuff again. So yeah.
Well, I'm gonna finish out today's approval, so don't worry about that.
Woo woo. Thank you.
I know. Yeah, I didn't in my head you weren't coming back to another week. I was ready to go. I was like, heck yeah, I got this now. I was in a groove. Do you have anything that you want to add to all this? I know that you just got back and haven't seen all the docs or anything with Rain, but have you got anything to add?
I just want to make double, triple sure that everybody is aware of the fact that if you don't have a buyer broker, you're going to realtor jail. And I'm throwing you under that bus and I'm letting it back up over you.
I don't look good in orange jumpsuit, neither does Lucy, and we do not plan on being in one anytime soon. So yes, I believe her when she says she will definitely throw you under the bus. So
and
you have to do that, guys.
along with that, just the reminder that we, especially now, we haven't been so strict on you uploading your buyer consultation documents. But I think now with the rule change and everything, you need to adhere to the uploading it within 48 hours of signing. Because if you wait and upload it with your contract, we don't have any way to back you up 100% with the time and date stamps we have in Brokerment that you did it before you took them in the house.
Yeah. And then also make sure that you have them readily available at your open houses for those that aren't represented. for them to come in, make sure that it's readily available for them. That's going to be something that's going to be new because you guys are used to just letting them kind of walk around, but make sure that you have them readily available for those that want to do more than just look, because it's an open house, but that's it.
Is that
Like,
into effect already? Like if we have. an
we are
open
putting,
house
we
this
put everything
weekend?
into effect as of August 1, so that we're ready for it. Yep. Yep. So just make sure that, that you're doing that. We've always made you upload it, but you guys uploaded it with the contract, like she said, but now it needs to be within 48 hours to protect yourself. So that we're able to help out, like she said. Anything else, Lucy?
I can't think of anything come up while I was gone anybody needs me for?
Yes, one thing which I'll talk to you about later.
Okay.
Um,
Can I request something? This is Stacy. Please, Lucy,
Stacy!
please,
Yes, you
Lucy,
sure can.
do not shoot me on any documents that you will review after Thomasina. She was graciously approved me, so please do not knock
Stacy!
it.
You're not supposed to say that.
Quietly, please just think it quietly. That's all I ask. I
Well,
please.
let me just say that if Thomasina approved it, you're fine. I do not have the bandwidth to go back and review what she's already reviewed. So tomorrow morning, anything new that comes in after tonight, you've got me back. So if she let it go, I know nothing about it.
Correct.
Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your vacation.
You gotta love Stacy though.
Back it up a
She's
bit.
like, I'm letting it be known, it's recorded, FYI, don't come after me. That's awesome. All right, admin's agenda. So they just want Caitlin wants you to know that if you find anything that are in the checklist, please let her know, because now we're going to be uploading a whole new ones again. So if something is missing or doesn't look right, or it's an old document, she's went through and tried to get rid of all the older ones, but now we're going to redo them again. So if there's anything that's not in there, please let her know. She's been fixing them same day and it's been going pretty good. So I'd rather get ahead of the game than I would to wait and do it all over again.
Does that count for if things aren't auto-populating?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. Make sure you tell her. Make sure you tell her. All right. Here is our video. So let's a little loud. We are, oh yeah, Evertree has new representatives for us too, so we're gonna be meeting them pretty soon. Yeah, I know. We're also closed the 30th and the 2nd for Labor Day. That's a Friday and a Monday. August 7th has been changed now to September 11th. And we had Family Fun Day, which was great. And list reports today has been canceled. Unfortunately, Bill could not make it. Round of applause for everybody under contract, closed, new listings, ratified. Great job, everyone. It was a good month. Very good month. Has lots of losings. All right, time for our top agents and $1 Million Club. Esther Lee. And closing agent. Congratulations, Esther. Closing team for volume, transactions of listing and closing, Munesh Nikita Holmes. Congratulations. $1 Million Club, Esther Lee. Congratulations. And Jordan Hoskins has capped. And then all of our work anniversaries. Oh, the music stopped it and it got pretty quiet in here. All right, round of applause for all of our work anniversaries, guys. And AG and Shelly are gonna have a baby any minute. Like they are like anytime. And then Jed had another client testimonial. Remember to send this to us. We'll put them up on social media here. And happy birthday to Carol Lee and David for the month of August. Along with Lucy and Ryan. Well, okay. I think LaShawn was on there maybe. There was one more person too. I think it was Jennifer. All right. We are going to close in prayer. We're closing a little bit early so that you can ask me any questions that you have in regards to the contracts or changes or anything like that. So I was trying to make it a little early. So just in case you didn't understand it, me and the collaborators are here. We'll be able to help you out with that. Come up to us. We're going to hang out there with the bagels that Jones Walker and Lake has given us, and then just let us know if you have any questions. Okay. Lord, thank you so much for this wonderful day. And thank you for the family that we have. We thank you for the family fun day that we had and how wonderful it was and how you held the rain off until the end. That was miraculous. We are praying for success in real estate for the next however many years that this will continue on to change. We know that real estate has change in it, but this one's a big one. And we just ask that you come in and that you are with us through every transaction. We ask that you are with all of our vendors, that you are with our attorneys and our closing coordinators, along with our lenders and inspectors. We love you. This business is for you, and we will do right in every step that we take. It's in your name we pray. Amen. All right. If you have any questions, let us know.
So I did have a question. I had a conversation with an agent.
I guess we can just type it up.
Playing dog's gonna be real tricky.
It's in Richmond soon, right?
Yes.
She up there already, or is that?
No, one side.
Saturday.